All right, what's going on, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Conviction Fiction podcast, where we take real stories, real struggles, and real victories to show the world that change is possible, that transformation is real, and that second chances matter. I'm your host, Antoine Rivers. I want to welcome to another edition of the Conviction Fiction. And today's episode is one I've been wanting to do for a while because it touches on something that we all have, whether you're behind bars, out here in the free world, rich, poor, young, old, wherever you are in life. This is all something that we often take for granted, even though we have it, and that's time. Time is the one resource we can never give back once it's gone. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose a job and get another one. You can lose things and eventually they can be replaced. But once you lose time, that's it. It's gone forever. And that reality hits different when you lived in two very distinct worlds: prison life and civilian life. See, in prison, time is literally your sentence. You are serving time. But at the same time, you feel like you have nothing but time on your hands, right? Now, out here in the civilian life, we say we don't have enough time. But the truth of the matter is, we're just not managing time well. We're not doing that well at all. So, in this episode, I'm going to compare and contrast those two worlds: how time is experienced behind bars versus out here in freedom. And more importantly, how we can take the lessons from both and actually manage our time effectively. I'm going to break this down into five major points if I can, and we'll see how that goes. But those points are time as a commodity, structure versus chaos, productive versus wasted time, and we're going to talk about some lessons in prioritization and carrying it forward into life as a legacy. And like I always, I'm going to try to keep it real with you all the way throughout because hopefully you're able to get something something out of this where it can help you to manage your time effectively and also have a fresh perspective on what time actually means. um these are takeaways that I expect. Now let's get into it. It's the conviction fiction. All right, welcome back to the Conviction Fiction. And this is the time episode. All right, we're going to talk about time and how we can effectively manage time and how there are different perspectives on time. Of course, because some people view time as, something that's getting away every day, and others view it as just the clock slowly moving, the calendar not flipping. So first, I want to get into like time as a commodity, right? As a commodity, when it comes to time, we're basically, you know, going to tackle like one of the wildest things about prison. One of the wildest things about prison is that, you know, your relationship with time. On the inside, time feels stolen from you. The judge gave you a number or you accepted a number, 5 years, 10 years, maybe even more. And the state or the feds literally owns your days. Every moment belongs to them. You wake up when they say, you eat when they say, you lock down when they say. Even when you're just sitting on your bunk staring at the wall, that time is part of the debt that you're repaying to society. Now, I can remember nights lying in that bunk. I would stare up at the ceiling thinking, man, like, this is my life right now. These hours are mine, but I can't do what I want to do with them. It felt like my days were currency that someone else was spending on my behalf. But here's the thing: as much as I hated it, I started to realize something. Time in prison isn't just being stolen, it's also being offered. You've got long stretches where you can choose what you do. You can read, write, work out. You can even scheme or sleep. Even if you can't control the clock itself, you can control how you use the minutes within the boundaries they give you. Now, compare that to civilian life. Now, here, the clock is yours, right? You've got the freedom to design your day, but most of us treat it like it's free refills. We waste it because we think it's unlimited. People scroll for hours on social media. They binge watch entire TV shows and seasons of shows. They hit the snooze button 5 times in the morning before they get up. And then at the end of the day, what do they say? Man, I ain't have enough time to do that. No, 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 no. You had time. You just didn't spend it wisely. And that's why I say time is a commodity, because behind bars, you feel it because you're literally serving it. Out here, you forget it because you think you own it. But the truth is the same. Every day costs you 24 hours. What are you buying with it? What are you doing with that 24 hours? I learned to think of time like money, because in prison, I had to budget it carefully because options were limited. Out here, I had to learn to budget it even more carefully because the options are unlimited. Right. So the first lesson in time management is simple. Treat time like it's currency. Don't spend it on things that give you no return. Don't let it slip through your fingers like loose change. Like, you want to guard it. You want to invest it. Because one thing's for sure, once it's gone, it's not coming back. Right. Now, then, in prison, there's that structured chaos. I guess that's what you can call it. Like, because prison life is structured down to the minute. You got wake up call, you got count time, you got child time, you got work call, you got rec call, you got count again, you got lights out. And that rhythm is repetitive, almost suffocate over and over and over again. And while that structure can make you feel like a robot, it also forces routine on you. Most of us, before we went in, we didn't have like a structured life, right? You don't have to wonder what you're going to do next because the system already decided it for you. That's why so many people inside get into a groove. They work out at the same time, hit the yard at the same time, line up for chow at the same time. Like it or not, that consistency creates discipline. But the danger is that it's external, right? This is the system, the one, keeping you on track. Not you. The system is keeping you on track. Now, when you step outside into civilian life, nobody waking you up in the morning for count. Ain't nobody cutting the lights out at 10 o'clock or whatever time. Ain't nobody telling you when to eat or when to rest. And guess what? Without that internal or external structure, a lot of people that are giving their freedom back, or those second chance citizens that we talk about, my listeners, a lot of them fall apart because they don't have the external structure. Okay. I can remember when I first came home, I felt like a kid in a candy store, man. I could sleep when I wanted to. I ate when I wanted to eat or had what I wanted to have. Um, I could go outside when I wanted to. It was freedom, but it was chaos too. Because the first couple of weeks, I found myself wasting whole afternoons because I didn't build any structure. That's when it hit me, like with freedom. If you don't impose your own structure, the world will impose its chaos. Because let's be honest, man, civilian life demands self-discipline. You got to be your own correction officer, your own warden, your own timekeeper. That means you got to make a schedule. You got to set some routines. You got to stick to them even when nobody is watching. For me, that looked like carving out specific times for my businesses, for my family, and even for this podcast. I have to set time away. It meant building morning rituals to set the tone for my day, right? Blocking off hours where I'm focused and cutting out all of those distractions. Because here's the truth: structure is the skeleton that holds your day together. Right? Without this structure, your time collapses into chaos. And unlike prison, out here, nobody's going to enforce it for you. Nobody's going to do that. Right? It's totally up to you. Okay. Now, um, I always try. I'm as transparent as I can be. Right. Um, Prison is full of waste of time. I saw guys, and you might know guys who slept half the day. They played cards the other half the day, of dominoes, played chess, and did nothing meaningful for years. When they came home, these same folks had no skills, no plan, and no growth. They had served their time, but they didn't use their time. On the other hand, I saw people who treated prison like a university. They worked out daily, they read hundreds of books, earned degrees, learned trades, wrote letters, and even studied the law. Same sentence, different outcome, right? That showed me something powerful. Now, the difference isn't the environment, it's the mindset. The same is true out here. You've got people in the free world who waste just as much time as the ones who slept away their sentence. And they never even been to prison. They binge watch, they scroll on their phone, they gossip, they complain, and then wonder why their life doesn't change at all. Being busy doesn't mean you're being productive. I've had days where I was running around all over the place, doing this, doing that, and at the end I had to ask myself, what did I actually accomplish? True productivity is about moving the needle. It's about spending your time on things that create progress for your mind, your body, your relationships, your goals. All of those are important. So for me, that means writing when I'd rather be scrolling. I'd rather read than watch TV. Recording an episode when I'd rather chill. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't relax, but it means your default mode can't be wasting time. Here's a practice that I use, right? I try to do a time audit. For 1 week, or the beginning of the week, I'll write down how I spend my every hour. Now, if you were to do this, write down how you spend every hour. You'll be shocked at how much time slips away unnoticed. Then ask yourself how much of this is productive and how much of it is wasted. And if it's wasted, cut it out or replace it, because just like that money, you either spend time wisely or you're going to go broke. Right. So, one of the most valuable lessons prison taught me was prioritization. Right. See, inside, you only get small windows of freedom. Maybe it's, 1 hour rec, or you maybe go outside. Maybe it's the library being open for a little bit of time. You had to decide quickly, what am I going to do with this? Some guys would hit the weight pile, some, walk laps, or some got into fights. Shit. Like the choice mattered because the window was small. That trained me to think about my priorities. If I had 1 hour, what was the best use of it? Now, in civilian life, it's kind of flipped around a little bit. The windows are endless. You got 24 hours of freedom, but that actually makes it harder to prioritize. I mean, there's just too many options. And if you don't know your priorities, you'll get pulled in 100 million different directions and you don't get nothing done. When I first came home, I had so many things competing for my time, and family who wanted me to hang out with them, paperwork I had to fill out, had to find a job, going to a program, ideas for my own project. It was overwhelming. I had to stop and ask myself, what really matters right now for me? That's the skill of prioritization. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things in the right order. One tool that I use is the top three rule. Every day, I choose the three most important tasks I need to finish. If I can get those done, that day has been a success. Everything else is pretty much extra. Another lesson that's valuable is learning to say no. In prison, you learn quick that saying yes to the wrong thing could get you in some serious trouble. Out here, saying yes to everything will drain your time and energy. So every yes is also a no to something else. So if you want to manage time effectively, you got to know your priorities and protect them. Otherwise, you'll spend your life chasing things that really don't even matter, right? And those things that really do matter, they're going to slip away. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and carry this forward because This is a short show, because here's the biggest contrast between prison and civilian life when it comes to time. In prison, structure is imposed. Out here, structure is chosen. That's freedom, but it's also responsibility. The question is, what do you do with it? For me, carrying it forward means I take the lessons prison forced on me, like discipline, prioritization, making the most of limited windows, and then I apply them in freedom where I actually have a bit of control. It means treating my time as sacred. I give it to my family because that's legacy. I give it to my purpose because that's impact. But I also have to give it to my businesses because that's provision. But I don't give it away carelessly anymore. There was a time after I got out where I slipped. I found myself wasting evenings, man, losing hours playing a PlayStation. It was a little bit different when you left and I won't say 90s and come home and you got all these video games. And then it hit me, man. I didn't survive years inside to come out here and waste my freedom on nonsense playing video games. That realization put me back on track. And that's what I want to leave with you today. Don't let freedom trick you into thinking you've got unlimited time. You don't. None of us do. Effective time management isn't about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about aligning your minutes with your mission. It's about making sure the story your life tells is the one you want told. Because time it's not just hours on the clock. It's the measure of your life. So you need to use it well. Okay. Um, like I said, man, I want to thank you guys for joining me every episode of the Conviction Fiction. Because if anything I said today or anything that I ever said resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it, because at the end of the day, we can't control the clock. We can't control where we came from, but we can control what we do with the minutes we're given. This is Antoine Rivers reminding you that while we're all on borrowed time, how you spend it is what's going to define your story. Till next time, use your time wisely. Live with intention, guys, and keep moving forward. Thanks for joining.